Today, I want to speak briefly about something we all see, but rarely look at: homelessness. Not as a statistic, not as a policy challenge, but as a philosophical mirror held up to the soul of a society. Let us begin with a simple premise: every human being is owed dignity. That's not a sentimental idea, it's a foundational moral claim. If you strip a person of shelter, community, and the means to care for their mind, you don't just deprive them of comfort, you deny their humanity. In the UK, over 280,000 people are homeless or living in temporary accommodation. And according to the charity Crisis, more than half of those experiencing homelessness live with a mental health condition, many with PTSD, depression, schizophrenia, or substance-related disorders. But here's the deeper philosophical problem: society tends to treat homelessness and mental illness as two separate issues, when in fact, they are deeply entangled. From a phenomenological perspective, which is the study of lived experience, homelessness is not just the absence of a roof. It is the loss of continuity, of rootedness, of the basic metaphysical condition of being at home in the world. Without a stable space, time collapses into survival. Without privacy, thought becomes noise. Without safety, the self becomes defensive, fractured, paranoid. And when the self fractures, mental health decays. But crucially, many who become homeless already live with untreated mental illness. In a sense, homelessness is often not the beginning of suffering, but the social punishment for it. So here is the moral rot: we live in a culture that pathologizes the individual, yet ignores the systemic cruelty that breaks people down. It's easier to label someone mad or addicted than to ask, who failed them? Which services were cut? Which landlord evicted them? Which childhood traumas were ignored? Consider the ancient Greek concept of xenia, sacred hospitality. The guest, no matter how lowly, was owed kindness and shelter. This ethic was rooted in the belief that the gods often walked among mortals in disguise. Today, we walk past the homeless person and assume they are less than human. We do not ask their name. We avert our eyes. Why? Because to look is to be morally implicated. To look is to see ourselves in them. And so, a dangerous story persists that homelessness is deserved, or self-inflicted, or too complicated to fix. But let us recall the philosopher Emmanuel Levinas, who argued that ethics begins in the face of the other. The vulnerable face calls to us, it commands care. The greatest violence is to ignore that face entirely. What, then, is our ethical obligation? Not charity. Charity is optional, and thus insufficient. Justice. Structural, systemic justice. That means funding mental health services not as luxuries, but as necessities. That means trauma-informed housing policy. That means recognizing that the health of the mind depends on the stability of the body and the safety of the home. In the end, homelessness is not just a housing issue. It is an ontological crisis, a crisis of being unseen, unheard, unacknowledged. And any society that permits it on this scale has lost its moral imagination. Let us reclaim that imagination. Let us stop asking, what did they do wrong, and start asking, what have we failed to do right? Thank you.
Sorry if I let you down. I don't mean to play the clown. It just comes easy to me. I don't need the chaos. I don't need the pain. It just comes easy to me. If I could change it all, I'd change it in a blink. But that don't come easy to me. I don't need the chaos. I don't need the pain. It just comes easy to me. If I could change it all, don't come easy to me. If I could change it all, I'd change it in a blink. But that don't come easy to me.